our guest of honor, where you started and where you are.
Thank you, facilitator. My name is, am I audible enough back then? Okay, my name is Father Balabala Nigeria. He is currently Deputy Mayor City of Atlanta. As Madam says, tikambeza umoyo watu kuma mwajangu kwa mbili malingana ndi nthawi. Zona, I'm a man born in a family of 6, fourth born, from village Mwanza. My parents are farmers in Mwanza. Did my primary school at the primary school, then later on I joined the primary school here in Atlanta. And then I went to CTSS, Nyamba Community Secondary School. That was Zona School. Tajika mapunzira secondary school, but many kama nizira no CTSS yochele kufunga. From there, ndili school the activities osiyana especially comedies. That made me famous during my time, and that's where the Parliament born as the luckiest man. That is on 2010. In 2011, when I was in Form 3, I became the president of the school and under campaign for female education, and of course the head board. As many results take Form 3, but at least when you reach Form 4. Tamari za school manager, tinapita pa Atlanta Teachers Training College, kuti ndikale professional teacher, and zinapezeka kuti ndinaza sithandana kunoso ku Technical College because sina kozero mabwino kuti makata kuchita koma kupita ku medical university. So opportunity ndinapezeka ndopita ku Technical College, and I went there. I did automobile mechanic. That was 2013 up to 2016. When I was there fighting with my fellow student, because technical colleges here in Malawi, mechanic section and technical commercial. So in the commercial side, you might get that people who are getting finances that they can sponsor themselves. So when you go to Koja, as Makala Zone, you activate the video because you went under activate Malawi. So we had those fights between commercial and the technical side, and later on we went whereby I introduced the campaign that you take hands clean in the pocket. By then, put in 1,000 later where I clean. So we are saying that we firm a mechanic, Timakala would not but at least we put money because we do ourselves in the so the main is just Makago in the college management, and I didn't remember school, and by then Tina the president of Bapa College, whereby we had to learn during that time, and it was at that time where I applied under youth parliamentarian programs introduced by Bill Abtariga, then in Madam Joyce Banda, and like enough in youth parliamentarian up to 2019, from that 2016, 2018, Miami and South constituency, where we do proposals social Nyamara. Zimene ndinavuta nazo munthawi imeneyo because the second year nazakhala leader of the house, and nazachuka ndi issue lena kuti tikamabwereka ndalama access borrowing of funds zimene zimazabwereka the youth. So I was famous with the issue lena kuti tikabwereka ndalama tizipanga chituko chimene chitagwisa chito chizibwesa cho, and example yanga ikakhala Lilongwe Bingu National Stadium, that ndalama zomangira Bingu National Stadium ikamapanga pazichoka percentage zikalipira usati zikabwira chiro zina zikabweza ndiye kuti zilinga kuti munthu wabwereka ndalama kwa munthu business yako ibwezeso osati izabweze ndi zinthu zina zimene tinakamba kwambiri ku parliament zinali zimenezo ndi malo kuti malo achinyamata timazalipira kuzapeza chifukwa choti achinyamata timbe makobiri but panopo pala pamene ali ndalama taking orange. So 2019 I won as a councillor. I have also to say, because there's a political representation here, that I'm a youth here. So in other words, to build up a Atlanta City Council, we are only 4 UTM councillors, and one left joined the ruling party by then DPP, and then another candidate Salatatu. So the first year, Africa 2019, I contested in Gary to be candidate mayor, and I lost. I got only 4 votes. That was 2019. They did not result to Calabema Council, but the council comprises of 31 votes, 23 councillors, and 80 MPs. Then, because Terry is Yata, did not also campaign, and I campaigned And on my side, this time around, luckily I got a mass 14 votes and this as a 7. Mwina chane mine ingoku ningira ingonesera kuti be orogagwa mafuna kutsuka kumapanga abe ndikena kupika nawo tachita zimene zijani pamene tafika pano andi chomalizira kweni madam sole ayinokundimesa kuthamanga kuti tiphire chake chomalizira chemicheni I discovered kuti zimene amadandolo ando participation ndinasakasaka kuti malawi muno ma youth councillors amene ali below 35 dagari now we are 48 leti ndikula to Malawi Youth Council Caucus whereby tinaita form I think Ministry of Youth Sport tinalumikizana nabo kudzera kumaga Malawi Local Government Association, and we had a regional meeting as a Southern African region of young elected local officials where I became in the bureau of 3 members and 15 members in Africa. As I've just arrived there maybe 2 days ago where we attended the United Resident Local Government Forum in Kenya, Kisumu. This is the story.
Thank you so much. First of many questions that I have for you, because so the way she introduces herself to where she is now, before we go to the achievements and with some words of encouragement throughout the journey.
Very brief. I did my teaching education with the University of Malawi Chancellor College. When I was in 2nd year of my school, I started an organization. Then it was a club on campus called Women Inspire. When I finished my university education, I came back and set it up like a CSO, which is what I'm still doing now. So as it is, I'm a Christian, I'm a believer. I worship with Citywide Assemblies of God in the way. I have got a baby, she's about 1 year and 6 months old. I love being a mom. And apart from that, I recently founded a financial institution called Swift Capital. So briefly, that is why.
Political leadership and social activism, that's what we're talking about. Why do you think Nyamata should be should actively take part in activities in kind political kind, whatever leadership roles? Why do you think it is important for the youth who does partake in such activities?
These 2 things and of course the last way I want to history, if we go in the history, global history, as the Soplamina they are young or prime age. Unfortunately, when I'm a president, I'm not a president, Ari by youth, they're about just 5. How you have to move as the president, I mean, Ari by youth benchmark. That's another challenge. Woman to use a young, because young and youth why we must see and in the Malawi, my police are now actively in a current president, I'm youth, but young because in the constitution, the women will do it, big senator president, we embrace a 35 and so they would even youth, this is Sanga president in Malawi, but young person can be the president in Malawi. So energy, fresh courage as minimum color, much more, joyfully government to us.
When Iran Jimbe Nyamata, even by 35, but even after 35, why are we failing? Why are we failing even to get ourselves a president at 35? To have a leader who's at least in the youthful ages.
Politics are not commercialized. Resources, the challenge is to attain a political position this time around. So this issue because of better planning and indeed makoti nangarimena magambira last presenter and the introduce the plan your way and work your plan. I normally go with that and recently I've introduced that trust the process because that's the argument to be on a good madam they don't trust the process. I can go man ndishina jari avoga ngarimena magambira njabuti on TikTok tizingo kamba zamacheza mina 10 up to late hours. Then ukangotu kuyesere mwina kuti wapanga approach malida zama kanu na stress akangokuya nkhani zina zakamena nanenera madam aku ministry of youth kuti kena mwina emotional muntu jakangopanga ibino umuntu kazikonzeweka kuti mwina it was issue of emotion biteso umafoka so kufoka kumene achijamala kunkhabe kuti kuda kuti titeke.
Leadership and social activism. Leadership, not to go much in politics, but because at least he's a politician. But you, as the leadership roles and social activism, why should you actively participate in such leadership and social activism roles?
I always say that young people have to take part because we are the future. Yes, we are saying we are leaders of today, but we are the people who exist tomorrow if we take good care of ourselves. So I always say that it breaks my heart when I see young people talk but do very little. I was really passionate and very inspired with the presentation that Mr. Jisi was making. So full of energy, but I was heartbroken in a way within me because I felt like this would have had so much power if it was coming from a fellow youth. Imagine all the examples he was giving, and then it should actually be a young person saying, so far. How inspiring would that have been? You know, so I always say that as young people, until you stand up enough and make yourself known and heard, nobody will do it on your behalf. Because we're too subtle about things that we should be loud about. All right, we come in conferences like this, we're inspired, we've known, you know, we sign on the shit, get the allowance, get back home, take pretty pictures, put on WhatsApp status, I was privileged to be invited. And then what do you do after being invited? Because a week from now, most of us will not even remember what was said in this. And make no doubt about it. But there is a need for us to go beyond being inspired, where you are living a disciplined life of knowing that unless I do it, nobody will on my behalf. So I always say that as young people, like he said, energy and then the energy. We've got all the energy, we've got the time. You know, I told you that I recently started Swift Capital. It's a financial institution. So apart from running Women Inspire as its executive director, now I am a founder of another financial institution that is just budding, coming up. There's a lot of work on the ground to be done, and I'm bold that I'm going to do it because I'm a very bold dreamer. You know? So I'm running Swift Capital at the same time. I'm a businesswoman, so I founded April's Products, named after my baby. April's Products, we make hand wash, dishwash, car cleaners, body wash, all these products. I also have got to do that, and I've got to be a mom. I'm also an author. I published 2 books, currently working on a 3rd. I do all of these things, but I'm what? I'm 26, all right? Because really, at the end of the day, we all can come in here, we can be inspired, but what matters is what do you do with the inspiration that you got? And that's what defines a young person. Because we can claim all we want. You know, young people, we make 46% of the, so what? You can be a statistic, who cares? People will always argue with what you say, but nobody will argue with what you produce.
Now, walking the talk, well, what do we do now when we attain such knowledge after such a conference? How do now we start to walk in the talk? How do we make use of the knowledge that we gain as young people?
It's in the little details where you start. It's in the small things, all right? Here you've come, you've learned that after that beautiful presentation, you have learned that, okay, as a young person, I really should use my voice, or I really should do this. It's not a matter of all of us going to represent in a certain board. Not all of us would, you know, but I'm sure there are dreams in our minds among us here. We've got ambitions, we've got dreams, we've got aspirations. Project kamene kali muru manga sendo kudigira una kali batsendalama koma ndipite kukalulo kumene ndengena kake kwakuti kwakuti and do it with those young people and life will be changed, because that's where it starts. But unfortunately, most of us, we want to start from up to the bottom, but we start building from the ground up. So after this, check within yourself. I always say that every man's wealth is literally deposited within them, and not worth by literal money, but whatever you can become, the relevance that you can bring on the table is right within you. You've got bold dreams. Most of us, we've got very, very ambitious, bold dreams, but we shy away from taking action. So you have learned, you have increased in value, you are definitely better than a certain young person who's not in this room. But now, just go all out there, check within you, what do you think you can do? How can you be a better employer? Not all of us want to be founders, not all of us want to be entrepreneurs. Maybe you're confident with where you're working, you feel like you're making a relevance there. It's fine, stay there, but at least be better. Make sure that by the time you're leaving that organization, also people should be looking forward to when you will resign, you know, because you're not bringing any relevance. So it starts with the little steps of where can I be relevant? What difference can I make?
I'll go back to our deputy mayor. Now you've attained deputy mayor, you're there. What are you doing City for the sake of the youth? What youth programs do you have when City lined up? Or what, if not seated, You as an individual, what are you doing to help the youth? Remembering the journey that you've been through.
Yeah, thank you. The question is so challenging, but yes, I'll start with the Blantyre City Council. There's a lot of initiative that we need young people to be on board. Speech yanga kama za initiative na kama za citation my programs for youth. And recently zinagari zukukonzedwa mugayiona mina amakhala Blantyre munomono usiku Blantyre yathu ndiyakuda. It's like dark magesi tikoti mavuto awiri kokani mavuto load shedding nayo. Komano, there's a program many where light up my city, whereby where those projects we really need a lot of youths who attend that. But I'm just presenting here. It's not yet there, but we are working on it. Despite only my youth-friendly project, I made now. Even my developments I made which on my own on 23 under infrastructure development fund, whereby the targeting areas are the Ajinyamadas. So my project I mean, Mukandifu sana kuti ngatiso muntu amene madusa munyengo imene encouragement area kwa Nyamata ndiyoka. It's coordination. Coordination imene ndikufuna it's one way ngati ndakumana ndachisi secular Women's Day. Many analamphulirana ndi panga inspire by then koma nalipo opportunity ochita no interact lero so ndawo naso muno. Pai imeneyo chifukwa chokuti so timathamangira zinandikhudza kwambiri sina khale in contact with him, but I think today I will have a contact with him. That's how ndifuna so kuti mwina muchipinda chino anthu samaopane kuona kuti uyuyu apikwa ndi panga inspire because of china chake. Please meet. Exchange contacts is very, very important. So coordination in your funika. And the China chimakhala chonena kuti ulesi wa Chinyamata ndofuta kwambiri. For example, if you kudare kungoti inendilese kumano panyamba to primary school kuti ndikuwauza zotufuna timange cancer hospital in my ward. And awobwera kumene kamakhala azimayi azibambo. So chimene just in knowledge chinabwera chonena kuti uwine ndale target azimayi. Chifukwa kuti Chinyamata mbiri sakudana kuti sakubwera. So mwina chimene chimene tikukhala kuti uthenga ukumapita koma kuti anthu ajaso apangeso track back communication ikuvuta. So communication imene message yanga anthu tikabwerera njonena kuti coordination ikhalepo kumene kusatikubwerera message imene tikuyilira nchimira chino ikafike pasi kuti anthu ena akate kuiziwa komanso anthu azikhala motivated ndi anthu amene akuchita bwino in the society or in the area and aziweza njiro panga approach.
Your career in politics, where do you see yourself in the next few years? Manenegalo determined about 2.5 years or something like that. Where do you want to go after deputy mayor? Deputy mayor comes because you're a councillor. I mean, ward, where are you coming from? Where do you see yourself as a councillor, as an MP, or as a president? Where are you taking your career journey to, especially in politics?
Thank you. Since you want to motivate other youth, but in politics sometimes you don't make promises in the public terms of the future. But what I can say that as presentation, so education is fundamental if you want to be a productive young people. And as many as on the go school so as of now, just starting education with the MUBAS. And the education young and we end up to 2027 and my program really now. So but if watch many on 2030 for other steps. In 2025 is too close and there's to work a lot of things to work on. So ngarantaku wonikwanga arazandi bonda so kuti ndachitira you know I would love to be a councillor as well in 2025 up to I attain a all necessary knowledge in terms of governance and to manage people. So any step might be looked upon on it in 2030 plus when I make my city.
What is the planning? I want to plan ahead and a lot of years. What do you think? Why is it so important to plan ahead? Because you don't look like a man who's just going to say, oh, 25 people, but when you give yourself 20, 30, you've given yourself about 8 or so years and stuff. What's the importance and relevance of planning ahead?
Yeah, the importance of planning ahead is that it's maybe 5% of missing your target. It's very rare that you can miss when you're planning at a long years like what I've done. Why I've gone to school so that I should have a stronger CV is that when I take a step to go to central government, I don't want to be a backbencher. So I noticed that with the education level which I am as of now, if I went to the central government, if I just went there just because of popularity in my area and people can vote for me, then there I will not make any impact. So if I make my CV strong, then definitely I think I will be making an impact whereby I can take maybe in parliamentary committees, mwina prerogative mwina so kumakupeza kuti at least I think when the journey I think you can be in cabinet. So ngati zimeze ndingazithamangire bomba ndikono bese zingakhala bwino. So planning ahead matters most as men and women kuti plan your work and work your plan.
I love to work with people that think fresh, people that have got beautiful new ideas, and also because I want people that I can take to say, okay, you know what, you are working as this, but I won't put you on the desk because I need you to go. We work a lot with people from rural communities. Because I believe they're smart. Those people are smart, but they lack access to opportunities and knowledge. Alright, so I want people that I can send to say, let's go today, compared to, if I send you there, are you relatable? You know, I just women is fine. I want people who will come and say, oh, I say, because once you say that, immediately that person will open up to you in a way that you can't think. So we are making sure that it's not just in the matter of the people that I work with, but also in the way that we relay the information. You know, how can these young people be bold enough to say, I work with Women Inspire, but it was beyond work for me. It was a life, it was an experience. I was given a chance to make an impact. Because impact is best felt when you're making with people that you can relate with. So that's how we've been working. As for Swift Capital, well, it's really new. We are only a few months old. We had our first financial literacy seminar in Blantyre at Americas just last week, and in Milonga Golden people just 2 days ago. So we are an organization that is making sure that young people, women, small medium enterprises have got access to finance. They've got access to financial knowledge. Not just access to financial knowledge, because it's like we are creating a group of empowered people who have got access to no resources, and then we're just creating a batch of frustrated people. So we want you to know, but after knowing what, let's give you the resources and see what you can do with it. So even in that spectrum, I'm also making sure that I'm involving as many young people as I possibly can.
So that was the end of our session. The beauty of a youth working, the beauty of youth being their own boss. I want to take us to that experience, because a lot of us are looking forward to being employed. I'm looking forward to graduating, have our beauty papers, upper classes, and what have you, and then working for someone. But I want you to highlight the beauty of being your own boss as a youth.
Okay, that's a good one. I've never been employed. I've never been employed since I left college. Yeah, I've only been employed as an intern when I was in second year of my college. You know, so during one of the holidays, I just applied for an internship, and I worked for about a month or so, and then I came back. And since then, I don't know what a payday feels like coming from somebody else. If I don't work for my own payday, there won't be a payday for me. You know, so the beauty about it is the freedom to show forth your value. All right? It's not really in the fact, because when we say your own boss, people think that you're just there making a lot of money and you can just snatch yourself money as much as you want. No, but I think that the beauty in being self-employed or being someone who does what you do by yourself is in the fact that you go at the pace that you believe that you should, while at the same time adding value to your own growth. All right? Like I said, I did my school. I finished a few years back. I have never been employed, but at least in between then and now, I've had chance to learn more, to take courses online, to go further my knowledge, not just in terms of being in class, but these are things that I possibly would not have been able to do if I was expected to be in an office at 8 a.m. and knock off at 5. All right? So it's really not easy, but at least when you have got that value for yourself, you're able to demand what you believe your value is. I'll give a very practical example. I was talking to one, there are events that I will go to because I want to support these people. You know, so I'm not even going to ask you to do anything. I'll dress up, show up, speak and go. But there are events I'll go to that they'll tell me to speak, and I'll tell them, if you want me to speak and share what you want me to share, you need to know that I invested myself. I invested my resources for me to know what you want me to share. And so there's only a certain level of money that I can't take. You know, because we're living in a society where people also just believe giving back to the society. You know, you need to give back. I can only give back to an extent, but I also need to make money because I spend money to know what I know. All right. So it's not just about. It's not like when I was saying to him, when I was talking to him, he's my good friend, and when he invited me, I actually told him that for events like that, I don't get less than this. He had to respect that because he knows that for me to get to where he actually needs me to speak, I invested my time. I don't remember the last time I slept for 6 hours. When I found out that if you sleep for 6 hours every day, you would have slept from January to April. If you sleep for 6 hours, doctors say let's take care of our sleep. 8 hours of sleep every day is enough. For what? You are poor. How do you sleep for 8 hours of sleep every day? If you sleep for 8 hours every day, you would have slept over 3 months of the year. Now this is sleep you're sick with. Let's talk about the sleep we do on TikTok. Just everything. Now, if we add to that, that's 12 hours. Let's say if you sleep for 12 hours, you've slept from January to June, doing nothing with your life. So it's in the fact that you appreciate the value of time. You appreciate the value of the person you're building yourself to be and what you can attract in the process.
For you, probably someone who's on the verge of giving up, you shared a beautiful story of you losing out in the council elections in 2019. You never gave up. You just went ahead and found out where you lost, picked up your broken pieces, and then we went ahead. On that ticket, for our youth who's about to give up, what would you say to that youth?
Actually, I never give up. Those who give up, most of them they give up maybe because of the shy. Kundale kwa tu choyamba chipinda ape amena kuona kuti alindima itamujoso akundale Jose Manyazi should not have a person who is sharp, that's the first thing, and he should have a good planning. A good planning aone modela limena makhala kuti anthu amakonda chani mapanga chani. Izipa planning is most important, including my resources. The planning baje chachikulu kwambiri akonoti mwina ma resources akhala challenge kwambiri akhale achita develop friendly culture ndi anthu am community in all ages. Akangopanga zimenezo zokuti wachosa manyazi wachita friendly ndi anthu ose kazimaya zibambo achinyamata in their space. Ulendo wakundale ndo kuti waoyamba bwino akatero. Pamene pachosa manyazi pacha pamene wachita friendly wachita so develop confidence in speaking ndi anthu ati zimene ngati akafika pa level pameneyo ndi ya planning imeneyo kwina akono ndi ndizapempha kuti he should or she should always trust the process that comes with it, because in the mpikisano ena makukambaso zina ndoti we uzikhala uchita trust the process kuti ndimene kuyenera kuyendera. That's my message.
Be very audacious, be very bold and courageous about the life that you want as a young person. Because most of us, we are okay with the bare minimum. We are okay with, just as long as I'm okay, I'm taken care of, I am happy. But let's be very, very bold. Be very bold about your introduction in the room. By that, I don't mean it literal, but I mean that you should be so unavoidable. You understand that there are people that, you don't want to listen to, but you can't not listen to. And each and every one of us can build our value into being that. Because we're talking about young people participating, but we won't participate if these people don't see our value. They will not call us to the meeting always, but we can present ourselves in a way that they will know they need us to be there. So be young people who know and understand the importance of value. Value your time. Value the information you bring in your system. You understand? Simple things like that you don't understand the information you're bringing into your system, but it is having an effect on you because all you do is feel frustrated. Because I read a story, like one point, I was really frustrated. I was so frustrated. I couldn't imagine someone spending 2 hours reading such kinds of stories. Eventually you're depressed, you're thinking maybe there is nothing to life. But there is so much more to life. But it starts with where you position yourself as a young person. So be very courageous. Dream bold dreams. Speak. Regardless of who is listening, who is not. Eventually they can't avoid you for too long. They can't avoid you for too long. And also, let's be, young people who understand that relationships are very important. Relationships with the people that we work with, the people that we're surrounded with, the people that we want to be mentored by. Get a mentor is very important. Value yourself, build value into yourself, and before you know it, life starts to position you according to where you are positioned in your mind.
It's clearly on your actual things that you have already put in place. not the ones that are in pipeline, but those that you put in place for the youth in Blantyre. At least we are happy to see the Blantyre Youth Network Chairperson present. At least they should be able to keep it in them that the actual city is doing ABCD. What those things have you already done? At least those are the very good things that I wanted to hear from. Thank you so much.
The problem that raised here, we had on our table where we said that the youth, they should access those loans through the already existing structures. And she is working on that just to create a good environment for the youth to access these services. And for another information, as I become now a deputy mayor, I became deputy mayor in January 19, and the council's works in quarterly. And we are, government has changed the financial year, starting with the April. You know that, we all know that, right? Yes. So from April, our first quarter, we start meetings and policies, community policies. That is in June next month. Is when we start our quarters. So the first quarter in my office is starting in June. But what I was saying is the things that was happening at Blantyre City Council, and I was part and parcel of that since I was a councillor. And I think this information is enough for you as of now.
In fact, we've only received donor funding maybe 3 times, and this is an organization that has existed since 2016. But until today, if I tell you, we're still running. And it wasn't the fact that we went out and said, hey, we've got this dream, we want to do this with young people, we want to do this with women. We just started doing what we could afford at the time. And then when they start to realize and recognize what you're doing, it's very easy for you to solicit funds. So unless you stop thinking that where will I get the money and start thinking, who can I work with to make sure that even if we reach 5 people, we'll document that nicely, we'll say this is what we did, and we'll keep it and we'll move on to the next. So it's really not about the money coming now, because one thing I've learned about money is they always come to where they will be used rightly. So resources have a way of locating you when there is a mission that is in plan, and most times that is already on the ground. So I would love to speak to you privately, because I want to know exactly what you want to do, because it totally differs. Because how I started Swift Capital is very different from Women Inspire, because very, very different organizations. All right, but I always say start from where you can. Work with people. There are people that can work with you, even you, without paying them. My programs director has worked with me since 2017. I've only been able to pay her maybe 2 years in a row, but the rest of the time she was never getting paid, but she was around. It's a matter of how do you inspire people to believe in what you're believing in, enough for them to see themselves in the vision and not just employed. So we can always have a conversation later on, but I think so far that gives you an idea to go.